Hey folks, welcome back to Stoicism Awakened, where we don't just discuss strategies for getting through life, we talk about mastering it. Today we're diving into something not just important, but absolutely critical to living a life of dignity, respect, and self-worth. Let me ask you this. Have you ever found yourself twisting into knots, bending over backward just to get someone's attention? Maybe it's that friend you thought was close but seems distant now. Maybe it's that romantic interest who makes you feel like you're on an emotional roller coaster. Maybe it's your boss who never seems to notice how hard you work unless you're constantly reminding them. You're putting in all this effort, and yet you're left feeling empty, frustrated, like you're not enough. Does that sound familiar? Now, what if I told you there's a way out of that exhausting cycle? What if I told you that the true power lies not in fighting for their attention, but in reclaiming your own? Imagine this for a second. You walk away, not in defeat, but with your head held high, full of dignity and self-respect. Suddenly, that person who barely glanced your way starts noticing you. You're no longer chasing. They're the ones who now feel the weight of your absence. How? Because you've stopped playing their game and started mastering your own. And guess what? This isn't some movie script or story from a self-help book. It's reality. It's your reality. It's the kind of transformation that happens when you choose to stop bending over backward for others and start standing tall for yourself. If you've been waiting for a sign, this is it. This is the video that will flip the script for you, transforming you from someone who begs for attention into someone who draws it effortlessly, someone who radiates quiet confidence, who owns their presence without ever saying a word. Today we're going deeper than just letting go. We're talking about reclaiming your peace of mind, your self-respect, your inner power. As the Stoic philosopher Epictetus said, "It is better to starve to death in a state of calm and dignity than to live in abundance with a troubled spirit." This quote encapsulates one of the most powerful truths of Stoicism. True power comes from within, not from what you can extract from the world around you. So here's the question, my friend. Are you ready to stop begging for someone else's approval? Are you ready to stop shrinking yourself just to fit into someone else's limited view of you? The moment you decide to stop chasing external validation is the moment you start reclaiming your own worth. This isn't just about proving something to others, it's about proving something to yourself. You deserve more than to feel like you're not seen. You deserve to walk away from anything that doesn't honor your worth. And this is your first step. Right here, right now. Let's walk this path together. Your support means the world. And every like, every subscription, every share helps spread this message of empowerment to others who are searching for it, just like you once were. So join me, and let's take this journey of growth together. You've got this, and I'm right here with you. Let's face it, we've all been there. We've all experienced that gut-wrenching feeling of working so hard just to get a sliver of attention, only to be met with silence, indifference, or worse, rejection. It's the romantic interest who ghosts you after weeks of texting, the boss who barely acknowledges your hard work unless you're actively vying for their recognition, or even the friend who never seems to be there when you need them most. And let's be honest, it sucks. Deep down, it makes you question your own worth. You start thinking, what's wrong with me? Why aren't they seeing what I'm doing? Why isn't my effort enough? But here's a hard truth that we need to confront. The problem isn't with your worth. The problem is with the chase. The more you chase, the more you signal to others and to yourself that their approval is somehow more important than your own peace. And let's be real. What happens when you start running after someone? They run even faster. It's human nature. What Stoicism teaches us, though, is that the fight for attention is a battle we were never meant to win. Because the minute we base our sense of worth on someone else's gaze, we've already lost. We've lost our peace, our confidence, our dignity. We've handed them all the power, but it doesn't have to be that way. Now you might be thinking, but if I stop fighting for their attention, what happens? What if they just forget about me? What if I become invisible? These are valid fears, and they come from a place of vulnerability. After all, we all crave connection. We all want to feel seen, heard, and valued. But here's the thing. True connection doesn't come from chasing. It comes from standing firm in who you are. This is where Stoicism comes in. The Stoics teach us that power, true, lasting power, doesn't come from controlling others. It comes from controlling ourselves. It's not about making them notice you. It's about making yourself the most important person in your life. When you decide to walk away from the chase, you're not just stepping back. You're stepping into something far more important, yourself. And let me clarify something crucial. Walking away doesn't mean you're giving up. It means you're choosing to focus on what you can control, your health, your growth, your peace of mind. It's about pouring energy into the things that truly matter, instead of wasting it on someone who isn't willing to see your worth. When you let go of the chase, you're sending a powerful message to the world, and more importantly, to yourself. You're saying, I am enough. I don't need to prove my value to anyone. That's the kind of energy that people are naturally drawn to. The moment you stop chasing is the moment they start realizing what they've lost. Let me take you back to a time not too long ago. It was a period where I found myself entangled in a relationship that, in retrospect, was never meant to be. It wasn't a romance in the traditional sense, but it was an emotional bond that I deeply valued. This person, a close friend I'd known for years, meant the world to me. I admired them, respected them, and genuinely cared about their well-being. But something was missing. No matter how much time and effort I invested, I always felt like I was the one holding on tighter, making the bigger sacrifices. You know the feeling, don't you? When you keep showing up for someone, going above and beyond, and yet deep down, there's this gnawing sense that you're the only one trying. It's as if you're running on a treadmill, pouring your heart and soul into every interaction, but somehow you never seem to get any closer. That was me. I thought if I just gave a little more, if I just tried harder, they'd eventually see my worth. They'd finally value our friendship the way I did. But no matter how many late-night calls I answered, how many favors I offered, or how often I was the shoulder they leaned on, nothing changed. I was constantly available, constantly seeking validation, and constantly let down. It hurt. It really did. But I couldn't see it for what it was at the time. I convinced myself that maybe they were going through something and just needed space, or maybe I wasn't trying hard enough. Maybe, just maybe, if I became indispensable in their life, they'd finally realize what a true friend they had in me. And then, like a wave crashing against the shore, the truth hit me. I was sitting in my apartment one evening, staring at my phone, waiting for them to respond to yet another message I'd sent. It was a simple question, something trivial, but hours had passed with no reply. This wasn't unusual. I was used to waiting, always left in the background until they needed something from me. But that night, as the silence in the room grew louder, I felt something inside me shift. I realized I had been giving so much of myself to someone who didn't even notice. I was exhausted, mentally, emotionally, physically. I was drained from constantly trying to prove my value in a relationship that was one-sided. And then it clicked. It wasn't about them anymore. It was about me. Why was I fighting so hard to be seen by someone who wasn't looking? Why was I pouring my energy into a relationship that left me feeling empty? In that moment of clarity, I made a decision that would change everything. I let go. I didn't make a dramatic exit or confront them with accusations. I simply stopped chasing. I stopped being the first to reach out. I stopped bending over backward to make them feel comfortable while I was left in discomfort. At first, it felt strange, almost like I was doing something wrong. I was so used to being the one to make the effort that pulling back felt unnatural. But as the days passed, I noticed something remarkable. Peace. For the first time in a long time, I wasn't constantly checking my phone, waiting for a message that may never come. I wasn't filled with anxiety, wondering if I'd said something wrong or if I wasn't good enough. I had found a sense of calm in the space I'd created for myself. And then, as if on cue, they noticed. Suddenly, I was receiving texts asking how I was, why I hadn't been around as much, or if something was wrong. There was a sudden urgency in their words that hadn't been there before. But here's the thing. By the time they noticed my absence, it didn't matter anymore. I wasn't looking for their attention or validation anymore because I had finally found something far more valuable, my own self-worth. The irony wasn't lost on me. For so long, I had been fighting for a connection, hoping they'd see me. And the moment I let go, they did. But the most powerful part of this story isn't that they finally paid attention. It's that by the time they did, I had already outgrown the need for it. I had found something deeper, something more profound, the realization that I didn't need to prove my worth to anyone. I was enough, just as I was, and I didn't need anyone else's approval to validate that. That's the silent strength of letting go. It's not about walking away in bitterness or anger. It's about stepping back and reclaiming your energy, your peace, and your sense of self. When you stop fighting to be seen by someone else, you start seeing yourself more clearly. You realize that your value isn't tied to how much someone else notices you. It's tied to how much you notice yourself. Looking back now, I'm grateful for that experience. It taught me one of the most important lessons in life. You don't need to chase people to prove your worth. The right ones, the ones who genuinely value you, will see you without you having to fight for their attention. And those who don't? Well, they were never meant to stay in the first place. So if you find yourself constantly chasing someone's attention, take a step back. Look inward. Ask yourself, why am I fighting for something that should come naturally? If you have to beg for someone's time, energy, or recognition, they're not your people. The right relationships don't leave you feeling drained, they fill you up. The right people won't make you question your worth, they'll remind you of it. Remember this. Letting go isn't a sign of weakness. It's a testament to your strength. It's the ultimate act of self-love. When you stop fighting for the attention of those who don't see you, you create space for the ones who will. And most importantly, you make room for yourself. Because at the end of the day, the only approval you truly need is your own. And here's the beautiful part. When you make that choice, when you stop fighting for their attention, something incredible happens. People start to notice. They start to wonder why you're no longer chasing after them. They start to miss your presence. It's a natural human reaction. People crave what they can no longer have. But here's the thing. The goal isn't to make them miss you. The goal is to make you stop missing yourself, to reclaim the time, energy, and emotional bandwidth that you've been wasting on someone who couldn't see your value. When you do that, you don't just win, you thrive. Before we dive in, there's one thing you need to remember. Change doesn't happen because you read 100 self-help books or listen to motivational speakers. It happens because you choose to act. It happens the moment you decide, I'm done settling. I deserve more. Minus change takes courage. And guess what? You've already got that courage inside you. Now all you need is a little direction, a path to follow. So, if you're ready to stop waiting and start doing, let's jump into 8 steps that can change your life right now. Prioritize physical health. Let's talk about something that we all tend to overlook until it's too late. Our physical health. It's easy to get caught up in the hustle, the deadlines, the endless to-do lists, and forget about the most essential thing, taking care of your body. You might think looking good or being presentable is what makes you attractive. But let me tell you, real attraction comes from something deeper. It comes from the energy you radiate when you feel strong, vibrant, and alive. When was the last time you looked in the mirror and actually felt good about what you saw? Not just about your appearance, but about how you felt, full of energy, ready to take on the world? If it's been a while, that's your body telling you it's time to prioritize your health. See, physical health isn't just about how you look in a nice outfit. It's the foundation for everything you do. Your work, your relationships, even how you handle stress. when you feel sluggish, when your energy is low, it's not just your body that suffers. Your confidence, your drive, and your ability to show up for yourself and others all take a hit. Let me be real with you. You can't pour from an empty cup. When you prioritize your physical health, you're not just taking care of your body, you're nourishing your mind and spirit. Think about those days when you wake up after a good night's sleep, when you've been eating well and staying active, how unstoppable you feel. Compare that to the days you're running on fumes, exhausted, drained, and barely holding it together. There's no contest. When you take care of your body, everything else falls into place. Your mind gets sharper, your mood lifts, and you start attracting the right kind of energy because you're giving off the right kind of energy. And here's the thing. It's not just about hitting the gym or eating kale. It's about finding balance in your life. Eating nourishing foods that fuel your body, moving in ways that make you feel strong, and yes, making sure you get enough rest. It's about respecting yourself enough to invest in your own well-being. And when you respect yourself, the world takes notice. Let me share something personal. I used to be just like a lot of people, caught up in work, always saying, "I'll focus on my health later." I barely slept. I ate whatever was quick, and I told myself I didn't have time to exercise. And it showed. I was always tired, my mood was all over the place, and I was constantly stressed out. It wasn't just affecting me physically, it was affecting how I saw myself. I didn't feel like my best self, and the people around me noticed it too. One day, I had enough. I realized that if I didn't start taking care of myself, I'd burn out completely. So I made small changes. I started exercising a few times a week, added more vegetables to my meals, and committed to getting at least 7 hours of sleep a night. Slowly but surely, things changed. I started feeling more energetic, more confident, and guess what? Other people started noticing too. They saw a difference in the way I carried myself, and most importantly, I saw a difference in how I felt about me. That's the power of prioritizing your health. It's not just about looking good, it's about feeling good. When you feel strong, you exude confidence. You don't have to fight for attention because your energy naturally pulls people in. You're no longer surviving, you're thriving. So ask yourself, are you ready to feel that way? If the answer is yes, it's time to start investing in the one thing that will always pay off: you. Surround yourself with inspiring people. They say you're the sum of the 5 people you spend the most time with, and honestly, I couldn't agree more. Think about it. When you're constantly surrounded by people who are driven, positive, and always striving for more, you can't help but be inspired. Their energy rubs off on you, pushing you to elevate your own game, encouraging you to keep moving forward, even on the days when you feel like giving up. But what happens when you're stuck around negativity? What happens when the people you interact with daily are more focused on complaining than creating change? It's like walking into a room where the air feels heavy, where every conversation seems to drain your energy rather than lift you up. The people in your life, the ones you choose to spend your time with, have a massive impact on your mindset, your goals, and ultimately, your success. Surround yourself with people who are constantly pushing the envelope, who challenge you to think bigger and do better, and you'll find yourself rising to the occasion. But if you're always around people who dwell in negativity, who are stuck in the same patterns, it's only a matter of time before you start feeling stuck too. I've been there. I used to hang out with a group of friends who honestly were more about tearing things down than building anything up. Every time we got together, the conversations revolved around how bad things were, how hard life was, and how nothing ever seemed to go right. At first, I didn't think much of it, just venting, right? But over time, I realized that being in that environment was slowly draining my motivation and dimming my ambition. I was absorbing their mindset without even realizing it. One day, something clicked. I looked at the people I admired, those who were achieving things I wanted to achieve, and realized there was a stark difference in how they approached life. They weren't stuck in the cycle of negativity. Instead, They saw challenges as opportunities and setbacks as lessons. So, I made a decision. I started gravitating towards people who inspired me, people who were on a growth path, who pushed me to be better. And let me tell you, the shift was almost immediate. My energy changed, my outlook changed. I no longer felt drained after spending time with people. I felt uplifted. It wasn't just about changing the people around me. It was about changing my entire environment, the energy I allowed into my life. Here's the thing. You get to choose the people you spend time with. You have control over who you let into your circle. And while you may not be able to completely cut off every negative influence, sometimes it's family or coworkers, you can choose to minimize the time you spend around them. Instead, start surrounding yourself with people who lift you higher. Seek out those who challenge you to grow, who push you to reach your potential, and who celebrate your wins with genuine excitement. These are the people who will help you become the best version of yourself. Seneca, the Stoic philosopher, said it best. Associate with people who are likely to improve you. This isn't just advice for your career or personal growth. It's a blueprint for life. The more you surround yourself with inspiring, driven individuals, the more you'll be driven to become one yourself. And when that happens, when your circle becomes one of positivity and ambition, you'll notice a dramatic shift in not only your mindset, but in your entire life. Become socially strong. When we talk about being socially strong, it's easy to think about the person who lights up a room, the one who draws attention effortlessly at parties or events. But here's the truth. Real social strength isn't about how many eyes are on you. It's about how deeply you can connect with the people around you. It's about authenticity, being present, and most importantly, listening in a way that makes others feel heard and valued. Let's face it, we live in a world where most people are more interested in speaking than truly listening. We're often so focused on what we're going to say next that we miss the opportunity to actually connect with the person in front of us. But here's something I've learned from some of the most socially skilled people I know. The person who listens is usually the strongest in the room. When you listen, really listen, you don't just capture attention, you create a bond. People feel seen, respected, and understood. That's where true influence and connection are built. Think about it. How many times have you walked away from a conversation feeling unheard, like the other person was just waiting for their turn to talk? Now imagine the opposite. Imagine someone who takes the time to really tune into what you're saying, who engages with your words and asks thoughtful questions. That's the kind of presence that people are naturally drawn to. That's the foundation of real social strength. Let me tell you a little about my own experience. I used to think being socially skilled meant being quick, witty, or always having something clever to say. I'd jump into conversations eager to make my point, often interrupting without even realizing it. But over time, I noticed something. While I was busy trying to impress people, I wasn't actually connecting with them. I wasn't making the impact I thought I was. So I made a conscious decision to change. Instead of rushing to speak, I focused on truly listening. I started asking more questions, showing genuine curiosity about other people's stories and giving them the space to express themselves. What happened next was pretty incredible. I didn't have to work so hard to be noticed anymore. People began coming to me, seeking me out because they felt heard and valued in my presence. The conversations became deeper, more meaningful. And without even trying, I became more magnetic in social settings. People naturally gravitate toward those who make them feel understood. The change wasn't just external, it was internal too. By shifting my focus from speaking to listening, I felt more connected to the people in my life. I wasn't just collecting surface-level relationships. I was building genuine connections. And those connections brought more fulfillment and depth into my life. Being socially strong isn't about dominating conversations or trying to impress people with your words. It's about showing up with authenticity, being fully present and making others feel valued. And when you do that, your relationships, both personal and professional, transform in ways you never expected. The depth of connection you can achieve just by genuinely caring and listening is a superpower in itself. Trust me, when you start practicing this, you won't just see a change in how others respond to you. You'll feel a shift in your own energy and purpose. Confidence makes you a magnet. Confidence isn't about how loud you can be or how many accomplishments you can list off. It's not about walking into a room and needing to prove something to everyone there. True confidence, the kind that makes you magnetic, comes from a deep, unwavering belief that you are worthy. You don't need anyone else to tell you that. It's something that radiates from within, and when you have it, people can feel it without you having to say a word. Think about the most confident person you know. Odds are they don't go out of their way to seek attention. They don't have to. Their presence alone commands respect, and it's not because they're the loudest or the flashiest. It's because they know their value. That kind of confidence is quiet yet powerful. It's not about bragging or showing off. It's about walking into a room and knowing deep down that you belong there. When you truly believe in your worth, everything changes. You no longer feel the need to chase validation from others. You stop seeking approval because you've already given it to yourself. And that's where the magic happens. People are naturally drawn to you, not because you're trying to get their attention, but because your confidence speaks for itself. You become someone others want to be around, someone who exudes a sense of calm and assurance. The power of confidence is that it attracts without effort. It's not about trying to impress or fighting for someone's gaze. It's about living in a way that honors who you are. And when you do that, people take notice. They're drawn to the energy you give off, the strength you carry, and the self-respect you embody. It's almost like an invisible force that pulls people in. But here's the thing. Confidence isn't something you have to earn. It's not something that's tied to your achievements, your appearance, or how well you can navigate social situations. It's something you decide to own. It's a mindset, a decision to recognize your worth, no matter what anyone else thinks. And when you make that decision, when you stop basing your value on external approval, your whole world shifts. I've seen it in my own life. There was a time when I constantly sought validation from others, whether it was through my work, my relationships, or even my appearance. I thought that if I could just get people to notice me, if I could just prove my worth, I'd feel more confident. But no matter how hard I tried, it always felt like something was missing. It wasn't until I stopped looking for validation outside of myself and started recognizing my own value that things changed. Suddenly, I didn't need to prove anything to anyone. I could just be. And here's the most surprising part. When I stopped seeking validation, that's when I started getting it. People noticed the shift, even though I wasn't trying to get their attention anymore. It was like the less I tried, the more they were drawn to me. But by that point, it didn't matter because I had already validated myself. That's the beauty of confidence. It's not about being perfect or having it all figured out. It's about owning who you are, flaws and all, and knowing that you're enough. When you embrace that, you don't just become more confident, you become unstoppable. The need to impress or please others falls away, and in its place, you find a deeper sense of peace and purpose. So, if you're looking for confidence, don't look outside yourself. Don't wait for someone else to give you permission to feel worthy. Make that decision for yourself. Start owning your worth, and watch as your world transforms. You won't just attract others, you'll attract the right kind of people, the ones who see your value and respect it, just as you do. Have an ambition. Having ambition is more than just setting goals. It's about having a clear vision for your life and a purpose that pulls you forward. It's about knowing where you're headed and feeling that fire inside you to keep going, no matter what challenges you face. Ambition is not just something that makes you stronger in the eyes of others. It makes you stronger in your own eyes. It gives you a reason to wake up every day with energy, purpose, and a determination that can't be shaken by life's obstacles. Ambition doesn't just manifest in material success or financial achievements. It's about becoming the best version of yourself, whether that's improving your health, honing your creative abilities, or contributing to your community. It's about striving for something bigger than yourself, something that gives your life meaning and direction. Take a moment to ask yourself, what excites you when you wake up in the morning? Is there a project or goal that keeps you up at night because you can't stop thinking about it? If you have something that lights you up, that's your ambition. If you don't worry. Ambition isn't something that's always clear from the start. Sometimes it's about exploring, testing, and discovering what truly fuels you. The key is to remember that life isn't about waiting for opportunities. It's about creating them. When you have ambition, you radiate a different kind of energy. People who are ambitious have a natural magnetism because they're not satisfied with mediocrity. They're not looking for attention. They're focused on their goals. And that focus is what draws people to them. Ambition speaks for itself. It shows in how you carry yourself, how you prioritize your time, and how you move through the world with purpose. I remember a time when I was captivated by a colleague, not because of their looks or how well they could talk, but because of the passion they carried. They had goals, dreams, and they were constantly working to improve themselves. It wasn't just about their career, they were always looking for ways to grow in every part of their life. That kind of drive is contagious. It makes you want to step up your own game, to be better, to push yourself further. That's the real power of ambition. It's not just about reaching a finish line. It's about always moving forward, fueled by a sense of purpose. Sometimes finding that ambition feels overwhelming. We all have moments where we're unsure of our direction, stuck in a place of uncertainty. But ambition doesn't have to come from a grand plan. Sometimes it's as simple as taking small steps to improve yourself every day, learning a new skill, trying a new project, or just dedicating time to exploring what truly makes you happy. Slowly but surely, that journey will bring you clarity, and your ambition will start to take shape. As Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius once said, "What stands in the way becomes the way." For those with ambition, obstacles are not reasons to stop. They're reasons to push harder. Ambition isn't about being perfect. It's about continually striving to be better. Remember, ambition is the guiding light in your life. It helps you shine brighter, stronger, and more powerfully than ever before. If you haven't found your ambition yet, don't worry. Start small. Take action, even if it's a tiny step towards something that excites you. Over time, that energy will grow, and soon you'll see just how magnetic your passion and purpose can be. When you truly commit to your ambition, it doesn't just change you, it changes the way the world responds to you. People are drawn to those who live with intention, those who move with purpose. And when you embrace that, you'll not only see your life transform, but you'll inspire others around you to do the same. Master your emotions. Mastering your emotions is one of the most powerful skills you can develop. You might be incredibly talented, intelligent, or attractive, but if you can't control your emotions, all of those qualities become less effective. Your emotions shape how you interact with the world, how you handle challenges, and how you make decisions. If your emotions are constantly leading the way, you're likely to find yourself reacting impulsively, making choices you later regret, or missing out on opportunities for growth. Think about it. How many times have you let anger, sadness, or anxiety get the better of you? How often have you said or done something in the heat of the moment only to feel regret wash over you later? We've all been there, but here's the truth. It doesn't have to be that way. You can take back control. When you master your emotions, you're not ignoring or suppressing them. You're learning how to channel them in a way that serves you rather than controls you. Stoicism teaches us that emotions aren't the enemy, but they shouldn't be given the steering wheel either. As Epictetus wisely said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This means that it's not the event itself that defines your experience, but your response to it. Let me share a personal story. I used to let my emotions run the show. A minor disagreement could turn into a full-blown argument, and often, I'd say things I didn't mean in the heat of the moment. It wasn't just my relationships that were affected. My self-esteem took a hit every time I felt like I had lost control. I knew I needed to change, but I wasn't sure how. One day, I decided to take a step back and start observing my emotions instead of reacting to them. I learned to pause, breathe, and ask myself, why am I feeling this way? What is this emotion trying to tell me? It wasn't an overnight fix, but little by little, I gained more control. I stopped reacting impulsively and started responding thoughtfully. I learned to let emotions be what they are, signals, not dictators. And with that, my life began to change. I felt calmer, more in control, and more powerful in my daily life. I wasn't getting dragged into pointless arguments or apologizing for things I didn't mean. I started to understand that while emotions are a part of me, they don't have to define me. And when you reach that point, when you can face even the toughest situations with calm and clarity, you become resilient. You become someone who can handle whatever life throws at them without losing yourself in the process. The natural byproduct of mastering your emotions? You become more attractive, not just in the traditional sense, but in a deeper, more authentic way. People are drawn to those who can keep their cool, who don't let the world shake them. You become a steady presence, someone others can rely on, and that creates a kind of trust and attraction that goes far beyond physical appearance or charm. It's not about bottling up your feelings or pretending they don't exist. It's about acknowledging them, understanding them, and choosing how to respond. When you do that, you'll notice a shift. Not just in how others see you, but in how you see yourself. You'll feel more grounded, more confident, and more in control of your own destiny. Mastering your emotions gives you the ability to face life's challenges with grace and strength. It allows you to build stronger relationships, make better decisions, and live with a sense of inner peace that nothing external can shake. And that kind of power? It's magnetic. Master the art of listening. Listening isn't just about hearing the words someone is saying. It's about truly understanding the emotions, intentions, and deeper meanings behind those words. It's one of the most powerful yet overlooked skills we can cultivate. In a world that's always moving fast, where people are often more concerned with what they're going to say next rather than paying attention to what's being said, mastering the art of listening sets you apart. It creates a space where people feel seen and understood, and that is something rare and invaluable. Why is listening so important? In today's busy world, we've become used to half listening, our minds already formulating responses while someone else is still talking, or worse, cutting them off mid-sentence. When we do this, we miss out on the opportunity for real connection. We might hear the words, but we fail to grasp the heart of the message. People don't just want to be heard, they want to be understood. And that's the key. When you truly listen, you connect on a deeper, more meaningful level. Let me tell you from personal experience. There was a time when I believed that to make an impression, I had to talk more, share my thoughts, and show how much I knew. But the truth is, the more I spoke, the more disconnected I felt from those around me. It wasn't until I consciously shifted my focus to listening, really listening, that everything changed. I stopped worrying about saying something impressive, and instead, I started asking more questions. I paid attention not just to the words, but to the feelings behind them. The result? My relationships deepened in ways I hadn't expected. People started opening up to me, and I found myself forming stronger bonds than ever before. As Epictetus once said, we have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we can listen twice as much as we speak. That wisdom is as relevant now as it was centuries ago. When you listen, you don't just absorb information, you show respect. You show that you care enough to give someone your undivided attention, and that kind of presence is magnetic. When you become a better listener, something incredible happens. You become more attractive, not in a superficial sense, but in a way that resonates deeply with others. People are drawn to those who make them feel heard. It creates a sense of safety and trust, a space where they can be vulnerable and real. And that's the foundation of lasting, meaningful relationships. Listening is about more than just nodding along. It's about creating a connection that goes beyond words. It's about being fully present in the moment, not just physically but mentally and emotionally. When you master the art of listening, you cultivate relationships built on trust and understanding, which are far more valuable than any quick, surface-level connection. So how does this change your life? It transforms how you relate to others. You'll notice that people come to you not just because they need to talk, but because they feel comfortable with you. They feel valued, and in turn, they value you more. Listening fosters empathy, which strengthens your ability to connect with people in meaningful ways, both in personal relationships and in your professional life. In a world where everyone seems to be talking, be the person who listens. You'll find that you not only learn more about others, but also about yourself. You'll see the impact of your presence in people's lives, and the energy you give will come back to you tenfold. This is the power of true connection, and it all starts with listening. Cultivate patience. Patience, in a world that constantly pushes for instant results and quick solutions, is often misunderstood as passivity or even weakness. But the truth is, real strength lies in patience. It's about knowing that growth, progress, and success take time, that they're not always immediate, and that's okay. Patience teaches us to trust the process and to understand that the journey is just as important, if not more, than the destination. It allows us to stay grounded and steady, even when things aren't going as fast as we'd like, because we know that every small step forward brings us closer to where we want to be. Think about those times in your life when you were frustrated because things weren't happening on your timeline, whether it was in your career, a relationship, or a personal goal. The frustration didn't come from the situation itself, but from your desire to force things into place before they were ready. But that's the beauty of patience. It gives you the grace to let things unfold naturally, to trust that your hard work and dedication will pay off, even if it's not right away. Patience isn't about waiting passively for something to happen. It's an active choice. It's about showing up every single day, even when the rewards aren't immediate. It's about putting in the effort, doing the work, and believing deep down that the results will come in time. And here's the thing. When you approach life with that calm, steady energy, people notice. They're drawn to your resilience, your ability to stay centered no matter what's happening around you. You become someone they can count on, someone who isn't easily rattled by life's ups and downs. In a culture that glorifies the quick win, mastering patience makes you stand out. It shows that you're playing the long game, that you understand true success isn't about instant gratification, but about consistent, committed effort over time. And when you start to embody that mindset, not only does your stress decrease, but your confidence in the future grows. You stop doubting whether things will work out, and you start trusting that they will when the time is right. Imagine how your life changes when you embrace patience. You no longer feel the constant pressure to rush through everything. You become more present, more in tune with your journey. And the best part, the more patient you become, the more you attract the right opportunities and people into your life. You're no longer chasing things in desperation. Instead, you're calmly walking towards them, knowing they'll meet you where you are when the moment is right. Patience is power. It's the quiet confidence that comes from knowing you're exactly where you need to be, and that the universe will unfold as it's meant to. When you cultivate patience, you don't just change the way you approach challenges, you change the way you live. You become more grounded, more at peace, and more ready to embrace everything life has to offer on its terms and in its own time. When you bring all of these elements together, prioritizing your physical health, surrounding yourself with inspiring people, becoming socially strong, cultivating ambition, mastering your emotions, and deeply listening, you're no longer fighting for anyone's attention. The truth is, attention will naturally come your way because you've become the strongest version of yourself. But remember this, your worth isn't determined by the attention of others. It's defined by how you see and value yourself. When you invest in your personal growth, your life becomes richer, not just with deeper relationships, but with meaningful experiences that resonate with who you truly are. You deserve to be noticed, but first you have to notice yourself. You have to honor and respect your own journey. And when you do that, you won't just attract attention, you'll attract respect, love, and fulfillment from within. Now, if this message resonated with you, I encourage you to hit that like button, share this video, and subscribe to the channel for more empowering content. Your support helps us continue bringing you the insights you need to live your most powerful life. Let's grow together, one step at a time. You've got this.